I do love myself. And I was like, wait a minute, maybe I don't. So now I had to hold myself accountable. So the more research that I did, it was very intriguing, and it allowed me to start my healing process before I got out the relationship. So I was pretty much undercoverly coaching myself to heal, and I was like, man, you broken, you strong, you tough, but you can't do this by yourself.
Yo, we back at it, man. Season two, season two. I know it's been a little hiatus, but we've been getting some stuff straight. But we back at it. From A to Z. You know how we do. We sit down with entrepreneurs who are actually doing something and can show you how they got it done or how they're doing it, how they got from point A to point Z. Each and every week, we'll be bringing you new entrepreneurs who are doing what they actually say they're doing and advertising. And this week here, we got a special guest. I got Charmaine Allen with me.
Hey
I
y'all.
said it right?
Yeah.
Okay. Got Charmaine Allen with me. I'm gonna let you introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are and what do you do? What's your business?
Hey everyone, my name is Charmaine Allen. I'm the owner and mixologist of Cocktails of Sweetness, where there is a taste of sweetness in every cocktail.
Okay.
We specialize in private events, weddings, receptions. We're a mobile bartending LLC.
Okay. So when you say you just said a word of mixologist. What is that? What's it? Because I know the ology is like the study of. So what is that? What is it?
It's the study of mixing drinks. Like with bartending, there are some drinks that are already made out for us, like Sex on the Beach, Long Island. Those are drinks that people are normally familiar with. But when you're a mixologist, you get to be creative. I get to bring my personality. It allows me to be free spirited because I can mix something and I can call it what I want.
Ah, I got you. So you get a chance to blend and create your own concoction, basically.
Yeah, it's a form. It's levels to this.
Got you. Did you have to go to school to become a mixologist?
Well, actually, there are classes that you can take, but it's not required. But because I wanted to expand my business, there are additional courses that I took to get certified.
Got you, got you. Now, how long have you had the business?
Legally,
Yes,
legally,
legally, guys.
yes, within 2 years. But I've been bartending for about 12.
Okay, so you got the experience.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so legally we running on 2 years now. All right, so let's dive in then. Let's talk about Charmaine before the bartender business. First of all, what is the name of the company?
My company is called Cocktails of Sweetness.
Cocktails and Sweetness. And what's your tagline? You just said
A
it.
taste of sweetness in every
Every
cocktail.
cocktail. Okay, got your tagline on that. All right, so tell us about Charmaine. So I ask you some questions just to get into see who you are. You know what I mean? How you got to where you at now. So like young Charmaine, um, that 13-year-old Charmaine. Well, how were you and what was your mindset then?
At a young age, I had a mindset of definitely hustle and survival based upon how I grew up. My grandmother raised me, but on the interim, the struggle was real.
Gotcha.
Homeless, hungry, broke, not on behalf of myself. So I started hustling at a young age, whether it was selling honey drippers, raking leaves, babysitting, things of that nature to help make money. And once I got a little older, to help make money to eat.
Got you. So you already had so you were kind of forced into that entrepreneurial spirit just to make survive, I guess, or make you some money.
Right, most definitely have always had a hustle mentality, a go getter.
When you say growing up homeless or not having, where you from?
I'm from Jacksonville.
Oh, so you from here? What side of town?
I've lived on every side except for east side of town, but I graduated from Jackson, so
Okay, so and that's the east side, right?
yes.
Okay, so that's considered the east side. So then, growing up, you grew up with your grandparents, or stay with your grandmother?
A portion of my life. And
Okay.
then in my younger days, I was living with my grandmother, and then I decided to want to live with my dad. It looked like it was the better life, the funner life. You know, grandmas are overprotective, old school. So I'm like, over here, I'll get to have more fun.
How did that work out?
Once I got a certain age, I realized that the grass was not green on the other side. Um, I was happy to have received many of the lessons from my grandmother, which
Grandmother,
helped
yeah.
me thrive now because, Yeah, my parents, they didn't always make the best decisions for themselves, and most definitely not for us. So it was a lot of times I had to, survive on my own, and then I had two younger siblings that I took care of,
Oh, so
and
you the oldest?
in family, one family side, I am the oldest. The other, I have a brother that is 1 year
Older than
older
you.
than me.
Okay.
But I'm the smartest, so.
The smartest. But no, I resonate with that, especially with being the oldest. And there's a lot of responsibility thrown on you
Tell me about
at
it.
an early age when you're the oldest of your siblings. And so now childhood isn't childhood like it should be.
Right. You have
'Cause
to grow up so
yeah, you gotta
fast.
grow up
Make
fast, right? Yeah, make
decisions.
decisions. So
Like,
I was like, yo, at 12, I shouldn't be like dealing with this type of stuff. I should
absolutely.
be having a good time like everybody else, but I gotta be responsible and take care of my siblings because my mom working or whatever the case may be.
No, my parents were on drugs, all of them. So it was very unfortunate trying to, keep my younger siblings from not having to see certain things that we did have to go through.
Right.
And then when I had my own, two boys, school, I was at the parent teacher conferences, purchasing their school supplies, clothes that they need, just survive.
Seeing them on drugs, did that make you want to like not ever go down that path? Because you got two type of people. They kind of got the ones that follow along what they see, what they grew up in, and it's they say hereditary, whatever.
Oh yeah, generational curses. But you see, my shirt is I'm a generational curse breaker. So I can't say that I have not made some bad decisions, but never on that track. And I'm still thriving today to stand on a lot of things that I seen. And it's like, nah, I can't.
Yeah, you
I
can't do
cannot do that.
Nah, I got you.
So most definitely, no. I've never even tried any other drugs, any drugs besides marijuana.
Nah, that ain't no drug.
Right.
That is not a drug.
It's not. Okay, so
That
but
is a herb.
but my mindset then, I had a no tolerance to it because what I understood it to be. Now
You
that
know what? I the same way. Same way. You know what I mean? I didn't start doing that stuff until, and I'm glad I didn't until later on
Yeah.
in life, where I'm able to like make the decision to if I want to smoke some weed, I get to do it on my own time in my place. It's
yeah, I have
not.
my marijuana card.
Yeah.
So now, they do research, they give you information.
Yeah,
I know
stuff like
what
that.
works for me, what does well with my
Right.
body
Yeah.
based upon my conditions. So I'm glad that I have come to a point to be able to educate myself on it versus the negative mindset that I had because that's one of the drugs that my parents were using besides crack. So
I had that same that well my mom wasn't my parents wasn't on like well she was on drugs. She was on drugs in my earlier part of my life, like 2 3 years old, you know what I mean, but that lasted like 6 months and she went through all the proper steps to never go down that road again. But as far as me not wanting to do any type of drugs, and I thought weed was a drug growing up too because I saw that in the neighborhoods,
right.
and I didn't want to be the guy that was on the corner smoking weed, looking dirty, look like a junkie. So I was against that. If I saw you smoking, I
I didn't
considered
want
you a
no
crackhead.
parts.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
I like you on crack. It could be weed. I'm like you a crackhead. You know what I'm saying? That's what I associated it to until I started to educate myself on it.
Right.
But that was in my later 30s, mid 30s, that I started to educate myself on it to understand what it was before I even attempted to put it in my body.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Understood.
And that, yeah, I researched like I was going to school for it for about 6 months. Like, I'm trying to figure this out. But that's a good thing that you were able to even notify that early, especially with your parents and the drugs and stuff like that, and then take it upon yourself to say, let me figure out about this. Because you could have had that same cognition, like this is just negative and all the other stuff. We know all the other stuff that are considered hard drugs
Yeah.
are. And I don't suggest anybody do crack cocaine,
No,
heroin, don't do
do
none
not.
of that stuff. You know
Please.
what I mean?
It takes away your mind.
Yeah, definitely, man. So what do you instill? You say you got two boys, right?
No, two brothers.
Oh, two brothers.
I don't have any
Oh,
children.
you don't have any children. So your brothers, what did you instill into them, or what have they picked up from you, or are you giving them any type of insight to go down the path of success like you.
Yes, not only am I leading my siblings, I'm also leading my parents because I'm realizing now, with my understanding of things, my healing process, like I have way more ability to change than my parents did. They were only doing the best that they could, but we have so much research and resources and more people who are talking about, things that we struggle with. I also, have a line of family with mental illness. Um, I'm realizing honestly didn't find out last year until my mom had mental illness, bipolar, schizophrenic, dementia. I always understood it to be drug and alcohol abuse. So I have been instilling things in my siblings that, based upon what my parents showed me. And I'm like, no, that's not the right way because how are we living from here to here and don't have this? So it made me want to automatically make better decisions, like being responsible, learning how to save money, um, trying to learn about credit, paying your bills on time. I've always kept my bills like a month or two in advance, really just out of being afraid to be in those predicaments. It was kind of like a gift and a curse. I'm still trying to lead them now and like telling them like, look around. We don't have anything. We don't have any college funds that was left for us. We don't have any land, any savings, no generational businesses,
Nothing
nothing.
to leave behind to continue going on wealth wise.
Absolutely nothing. So I fuss at them a lot now, and it seems like they kind of get in the picture, kind of putting along. And I'm like, listen, tomorrow is not promised. We have already struggled enough. Y'all are still in survival mode. It's time to live. Like I'm like, I have led the way for a very long time at a very young age, and it's heavy. Like it is heavy. Strength is being strong for for things that you didn't cause, or having to be strong, basically getting thrown in situations. And it's like, okay, what do? You can leave everybody behind, or you could try to take them with you. So for a long time, I was carrying the weight until I realized, like, what happens when I break down? So
Right.
now I can lead you to the water. I can't make you drink, but I'm not willing to carry the weight. I tell them like, you do not have to live vicariously through me. Like, come on, this is where I'm going. It's a must that we go this way. We already know what the past looks like. We already know what the previous life looks like. Like, we can't change that, but we can make new memories. So what is it going to take for us to take things to the next level, to do better, to live better, to not have that mindset of procrastination, I'm a failure, or I can't do it, or I don't know how to do it because my parents didn't teach me. Man, we got YouTube, Google, the
Right.
internet. We could pick up classes. Now I have friends who can teach me some things, like, so like just getting a different mindset for things that I don't know, not being too embarrassed to ask or too prideful.
I think there's a lot of people think being too prideful or whatever. But I like what you said about it's time to stop trying to survive and start living.
Live
Yeah.
like the way the world is going, like we are dwindling away, not just our generation but older, younger. Like I can no longer allow the past to consume me. It's okay if I don't know. I'm gonna do the research. Hopefully it's an audible book, because I'm gonna be honest, I do not like to read. And that,
But if you getting it in the audio way, then you still getting it in.
yeah,
You
see,
still
but
taking
before
it
I
in.
was hindering myself, limiting, saying, just because I don't like to do it. But I'm like, there's so many other ways of learning that I have introduced myself to, or really came up with my own tactics just to get it.
Yeah, that's smart though, and that's still applying yourself, and doing what works for you.
Right.
Some people would like to read all day, and that's their thing. And then you got people who don't, but they'll still they'll listen to a book
Yeah,
versus reading the book. But you still getting the knowledge, so that's all
absolutely.
that matters. And then applying it too. So in having that burden, I know exactly what that feels like to just have everything. People always coming to you for stuff, even family. You know, it happened to me. Like I said, just being from a young age, being the
To today
oldest
years old. To
uh, to today. You know what I mean? And just had to have like a heart to heart conversation with my mom to kind of explain to her like, yo, I'm your son, but I'm not your husband.
Hello.
You know what I mean? So, I, and I have my own stuff going on over here, my own life that I have. So I can't come to your need every time.
So that's responsible of you for setting healthy boundaries.
Yeah.
I'm on the track of that, kind of similar. Like I started my healing process 2 years ago. I'm 2 years strong. I go to counseling. I'm in class to be a life coach. I host my own women empowerment event. Things of that nature that that childhood trauma and things that have happened that have most definitely brought me to the other side, more positive. But it didn't until I'm just be honest. My parents were terrible triggers for me. And I'm like, how can I be so healing, so calm, so cool with everybody else? And with them, I'm like going. I could not express myself without just flying off the hinge. And it took me to go to counseling to learn about triggers and healthy boundaries and break it down and decipher what happens when they say these things or do these things and what it's doing to me and how I feel that way. So now my dad and my stepmom, they come out to my shows or anything that I'm doing because I am setting a positive example. I am leading the way. They are learning things from me, my friends, or the environments that I'm in. So now after 2 years, I don't try to like beat them across the head about it,
But
because
you instilling this somehow.
yeah, because it was so much resentment, pain, and anger. Now, when an opportunity presents itself, I'm able to convey to them exactly how they made me feel, how I may feel now, and what it has done to me over time. The only thing is about my mother. My biological mother suffering from, again, the bipolar, schizophrenic, dementia, drug and alcohol abuse. Her mind is that mind is gone. That mind is gone. It makes me so sad to have to watch that. Like, I suffered from a lot of childhood trauma and abandonment issues, but now my assignment, I'm a helper and a healer.
Right.
No matter how much I've tried to get away from that, I realize that this is the journey that I'm on. I just had to learn tactics and do things so that, set those healthy boundaries so people could no longer take advantage of me.
Man, you preaching.
Man, it's so deep for me, bro, because my assignment is to save the same person who abandoned me. So not only am I healing from my abandonment
Hold
issues,
on, say that again. Your assignment
is to save the same person who abandoned me.
Wow, that's deep.
It's so deep. I get chills about it. It is reality. It is every day to watch my mother's mind go away. So the person that I always wanted her to be, nobody ever expressed to me that she could not, her mental capacity could not even reach that.
Yeah.
And knowing what I know now about mental illness and watching her, I almost waited until it was too late to forgive her. It was not until she was in the hospital getting evicted last year, like literally she forgot who I was. We never had the best relationship, and I promised my grandmother before she passed I would help her take care of my mom. But I'm just like in the mindset like anybody could change. I'm not giving nobody no excuses. This is how I felt. This is the pain. I had no clue.
Yeah, I got you.
Bro, I had no clue until she was in the hospital with a tube down her throat, literally out of her mind. I was trying to get her some help, Baker Act her, go through those steps. And I checked her into the mental facility, and they called me and say she's foaming out at the mouth. They resuscitated her, had to bring her back, almost broke her ribs. And I'm like, man, I'm at the hospital, trying to care for her, try to have an understanding. And it's to the point where she's calling me to help her, but fighting me at the same time because she doesn't realize that it's me.
She don't even recognize.
Nope. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I could not have waited till it's too late. And I'm like, Lord, if you just give me another chance, like, and even in going through that process, she was getting evicted, so I had to go clean out her space. I brought my brothers with me. We spent 7 hours one day, 6 hours another day for a 1-bedroom apartment.
Cleaning it out.
The living conditions, to me, was unbearable. And it made me so sad because she really made me mad one time, and I was just like, I can't do this no more. It was me setting those healthy boundaries, out of sight, out of mind. You know, some people you just gotta leave them where they got you, where they had you messed up at. But I realized there's no way I could be giving back to the community, empowering women, helping all these people, and the main person that need my help is right here. I did not realize those days of her showing up to my door completely out of it, and me yelling, going off. I'm talking about bad, like so much of a trigger because it hurts to see her like that. But I didn't realize that she was screaming for help. And
Yeah.
I'm like, man, it tears me up because I'm like, raising parents is real ghetto. Raising parents is real ghetto, but I have her in assistant living. She I need help, bro. Like I have her there because I can't do it by myself.
So I got
But
you.
the income that it takes to be able to provide her with a space, like if you don't have yourself set up, retirement funds, social security, things of that's nothing. These places are like $4,000, $7,000 a month.
Yeah, a
Um,
lot.
it's
Yeah.
a lot, and that's a whole nother story on how things operate, and almost that you can do nothing about certain things. You know, when neglect and stuff like that happens, it really hurts me. Um, it really hurts me
What's
all of
your
the time.
relationship like now?
So that's just the thing. Since that time, I've definitely tried to have a better relationship. Um, Coming to certain grounds of understanding, but her mind is gone. I can ask her, try to ask her what she ate today. It could be 30 minutes ago, and she cannot even tell me. It's so unfortunate because the stories that people tell me about my mom, some of the pictures that I see, I learned between this year and last year. I don't meet a stranger. I'm so free spirited and so friendly like her. She loves to have a good time, laugh, and joke. And I'm like, dang, all this time I expected her to be somebody that she's trying to be, but couldn't get there, just trying to determine how to be normal with all of these things that are going on in her mind. Like,
Yeah, it
it
was
made me
out of your
sad.
control. But the good thing is that you're doing something now, the best that you can,
Yeah.
you know,
It
and
tear me
trying.
up, man.
Yeah.
I've had to that's one of the reasons why I became a full-time entrepreneur, because an incident happened, and I'm like, if when I drop her off, like some of the crying, some of her depression, some of her sadness, I'm like, man, if she feels like anything that I felt those times that she abandoned me, that I'm at the door, you know, at my grandmother's house, hours crying, waiting on her to come back after she tells me she's going to the store for 30 minutes. I don't see her for 2 weeks, 6 months. If I do, then we going to see her because she's in jail. Or the same crack houses that she used to take me with, and we used to hustle and get money, and God knows doing whatever else on her behalf. It's some nights that I would take my grandma.
Listen. I know you like what you're listening to, and I know you like what you're hearing. I'm gonna let you get right back to it. But I need you to do one thing for me real quick. I need you to like this video, share, subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification bell. That's how you know when the videos drop. So like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we're gonna let you get back to it from A to Z with WB.
This is when I cried out for my mama. I'm gonna say my grandmother never made me feel like I was a mistake or I did anything wrong. She used to just tell me like, "Grandma love her children," like that. And she's every time my mama needed to be rescued, my grandma would go do it. But then she tried to give the responsibility to me, and I'm like, no, I was there some of those times. I seen the things that went on, whether it was drugs or abuse. Even learning that, man, I can go.
No,
I could go with this, bro,
I
because
can
it's
tell it's a story behind it, but that's a good thing, especially in what you got going on now, the entrepreneur's spirit that you have, and you just trying to better yourself, going to counseling, educating yourself, linking up with the right people who may have more knowledge than you, but are giving you the information so that you can be better, not just for yourself, but for your siblings, for the family around you, because sometimes, especially in the black community, like you said, we don't, like, I didn't, my mom didn't leave me with some money when I got 18 and stuff like that. I didn't have no bank account set up and
Nothing.
trust funds and nothing like that. So it was all learning and on the fly and then figuring out how to be better, right?
I'm telling you.
And so now in them seeing that, now they want to do certain things. And
Most
now,
definitely.
you know what I mean? So what you're doing is still you're still empowering, you're still helping the community, but it's also trickling down to your family. Whether they come to you verbally and say it or not,
Hmm.
but it is, you know what I mean? And but you'll really see it in the actions, or over time if they get the inquisitive, when they start asking you little certain questions, hey sis, how you then you know that that stuff is rubbing off on them.
I let them know. I had a talk with my siblings in June, and I was going off after one of my shows. They are involved in my shows. I put them to work. They handle the door. They do my seating. They handle if I'm doing live streaming. I even created them name tags to let them know that I want to be a part. I'm like, I want them to be a part. And I'm like, okay, it's not paid now, but if I start manifesting the life I want to live and setting that up,
Then it will be.
yes, they were so excited one day about like the titles that I had on their name tags. And I was like, bros, like this is the things that I already see in y'all. These are things that y'all are already good at. I didn't create this title. I see the good in y'all. Why don't y'all see it yourselves?
Well, you implementing it, so it's just still on you to kind of put that into them. You know what I mean? Because
It's so
they haven't seen it from nobody else that's close.
it's so heavy to be an effective leader.
Trust me, I know. But the assignment that God gave us, at times it be like that. I have my moments, you know what I mean, where I just be like, man, why me? Why everybody gotta come to me? You know
I'm
what I mean?
telling you.
Because I be feeling like, who I get to go to? I don't get to go to nobody. You know what I mean? About everything. But I just take on the role. One thing I'm always giving grace to God for everything. You know what I mean? Even keeping me sane at
I'm
times
telling
when
you.
I want to just like spaz out.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing that you have it. And you mentioned about the shows that you have. So tell us about these shows that you got and what they are.
Yes, I host my own women empowerment event. It's called Chit Chat Table Talk Discussion. I really birthed this in the midst of an abusive relationship. I did see a lot of abuse and neglect and things like that growing up, and I will always tell myself like I never let a man put their hands on me. But in the interim, I let it happen with women. I was looking for love in all the wrong places. I realized my abandonment issues, my mommy issues, allowed me to feel more comfortable dealing with women
Right.
because I can learn things for them. And I realized that I was initially into older women, more so looking up to like a mother figure that
Yeah, I
could
got
teach
you.
me some
Yeah.
things. Like I know a lot of people get they have their opinions, but once you start to tap in to determine who you are and living your truth and realize these things, you can learn a lot more about yourself. So
So in that, what did you learn about yourself? Especially what you just pointed out some things about having like your attraction to an older woman, right? But more so because it kind of filled in the role
it
of
filled the
like
void of my mother.
of your mother, right? So then, what did you learn from that? Is that something that you still like are attracted to, or you learn from that to say, hey, I only was only attracted to that because it filled the void.
So the person that I am becoming, the person that I am today, I live confident as as a lesbian woman. I'm an advocate for the LGBT community. I won't say it's a mistake. I love the woman that I'm becoming. I hate some of the trauma and things that I had to experience. But even in those relationships, I realized like, okay, you don't deserve this. Like, why are you allowing these things to happen? And I realized that it was from my abandonment issues. And I'm like, okay, you have to teach people how to treat you, and people only treat you the way you allow them. So I'm like, I'm complaining, but why is this so dysfunctionally normal for me? Why am I okay with this? So with starting my healing and starting this show, counseling and my show saved my life. Oh, and YouTube. I started with YouTube. I started my show because I
What
wanted
did
to.
you see on YouTube?
videos based upon some of the topics that were discussed at my first show
Okay.
that I was not aware of,
Okay.
or I heard of them, but I wasn't sure of what they meant. So I had a partner at the time. I was telling her I wanted to do something different, make a change. I had no idea of what I wanted to do. And she didn't believe in it, but she still wanted to be a part of it. And I was just
How'd that
like,
work?
yeah, that's a whole nother story. But I
Okay,
was
we'll
like,
get
I'm going to do it anyway. And
Yeah.
I allowed her to be a part. But certain topics that were being talked about during the show, I could see that she started to become real uncomfortable. I was picking up, observing some things.
Okay.
So something told me, like, after that, like, there's a portion where we do question and answer. We write a topic out, and we discuss it as a group. It could be completely anonymous, or you could say, hey, this is my question. And after that, it was so good. I was so full. It was amazing. I was like, I need to do more research. And I started doing this research, and it led me to these YouTube videos of so many. And it was so scary reading and hearing about the things that I was allowing to happen and was calling it love. Oh, man, it was a reality check. I was like, man, I'm so broken. And I'm like, oh, not me. And it was saying I needed to love myself more. And I'm like, I do love myself. And I was like, wait a minute, maybe I don't. So now I had to hold myself accountable. So the more research that I did, it was very intriguing. And it allowed me to start my healing process before I got out the relationship. So I was pretty much undercoverly coaching myself to heal. And I was like, man, you broken. You strong, you tough, but you can't do this by yourself. Because if you're that oblivious to stuff that is right here in front of you, I'm like, man, you need some help, girl.
So what you did in that aspect is basically took accountability and
Yeah.
said, hey, I know where I need some help at, and so I'm gonna go seek this help. That's pretty good. That is dope because usually it takes for somebody else to tell you about the stuff that you need to
And
do.
I can't say that people were not telling me. Like, during the process, I lost friends, I lost family because their method and manipulation was to isolate. So I was shutting down, shutting out. A lot of stuff is embarrassing. You don't want to tell people. For one, my friends will pull up. For two, you just don't want people to know that you have certain stuff going on. And it was at one moment, my friends was like, you a bad friend. I was like, man, no. But I had to kind of understand what they were trying to tell me. They were basically trying to tell me, how do you call me a friend? Say you love me, I love you, and you have all of this stuff going on. As much as you encourage us, like, you need our help, but you're not even giving us the opportunity to help you.
So you was helping them, but not helping yourself at the time.
Not at all.
How did you lead up into having the business that you have now? With all the stuff going on, and then you taking time out to figure yourself out and work on some certain things, and then having a partner who wasn't supportive, but be like, I'll be there. I'll come and sit down and eat with you. I ain't gonna make the plate, but I'll eat with you. How did you come up with the business?
That I was gonna say, that is disheartening. I actually started my business kind of prior to that particular relationship, because that's not the only abusive relationship that I had. But I started bartending back in the day because I became a convicted felon.
What year was this?
2010.
So 2010.
I became a convicted felon, and I needed some quick money. So I started waitressing. I linked up with the ladies. It was Big Apple then, but then they made it Skyline.
Yeah.
So I linked up with them. We was hanging out. Some nights they had like, once they started, so I waitress, and they trained me to cross-train to bartend. So I was trying to finish school. I was in class to be a teacher, 4 classes away. The weekend right before my internship, I became a convicted felon.
Hey. So this is while you're in school.
To be a teacher.
To be a teacher. That was one of your goals, one of your things?
Yeah, my first degree is in early childhood. So I have an associate's degree in that, and my next goal was to finish to become a teacher.
What grade were you trying to teach?
Elementary school.
Elementary school, okay.
I love kids. So I'll tell you how everything that I thought I lost how I planted them
I'm
seeds and just
listening because
couldn't
you
water
got a
them.
story to tell.
I'm telling you, man, how I couldn't water them at the time because of life circumstances, bad choices, but how all of that stuff is just flourishing and blossoming for me now. To make a long story short on that, I needed quick money. Waitressing, you get quick money that day. And I just kind of set it down until I started with other promotions groups in the nightlife. And people just started asking me they was like, hey, can you come mix drinks? And I'm like, well, dang, y'all think I'm that good? How I really took off and started to expand is because last year, right before the pandemic, I had surgery, a myomectomy, and I was trying to figure out how I was gonna sit down.
What is that?
A myomectomy is basically I had to get like I have a C-section scar. I had a fibroid like this big sitting on my uterus.
Yeah, just remove it.
Yeah. First surgery ever, terrified. But the hustle in me, I always worked 2-3 jobs and school, took care of my siblings. I'm out here. Whatever it take, Bootsy voice outside, we don't need cable. Thugging. I'm telling you, I done made I was out there. But I said all that to say, once I started to have to sit down last year, not knowing like how you gonna sit down for 6 weeks when all you know is go go go, get it, and it was a reality check for me, especially with the pandemic happened right after that. I was like, I need to come up with some other things to, one, help me interact with people because that's what I love to do, and two, make some money because I'm used to getting that extra money. So it helped me develop my cocktail line. I have a cocktail line called Don't Play Cocktails.
That's the one I bought, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm trying to get that established in whatever direction I need to go in. But it was a way for me to still be creative, still interact with people, and most definitely collect the check.
Make some money. I got you.
So how I expanded is because I had a lot more time to think. All of the things that I said I never had time to do
So
from
let
going.
me ask you real quick. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm just trying to get timeline. So you had the surgery during the pandemic or before the
right
pandemic?
Before the pandemic.
All right, so you already had to sit down for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Due to the surgery.
And then the pandemic happened, and I never went back into my office or went to work, and it gave more opportunity for me to sit down, think, plan stuff out.
So it really birthed everything that's now.
Oh yeah, most definitely. The expansion, like I have 6 bartenders now. I was tired of turning down business. People saying I'm the best. I'm like, I need to start acting like the best.
Add a team.
But not being out in the nightlife and having to sit down, it made me really realize my worth. Like I was out here fighting for positions. I experienced a lot of scrutiny and harassment in the bartending world that I really don't even talk about it because I'm like, I'm here for a whole different reason. So, and that's to get my coin.
Right.
I had the hustle mentality, but then tried to revisit after all of my feelings and emotions. I was like, man, you got to go in with a different mindset now. I'm running into doctors, lawyers, millionaires, especially in the upscale environment. I'm like, you are not utilizing your resources. When I went back, I started handing out my business cards.
Right.
Like, y'all like my drinks here. Wait till y'all see what I can do at your weddings, at your receptions, your birthday parties. We can really, have a good time because I can. I'm a part of the experience. I always have been. I'm like, if people don't like my drinks, they definitely gonna love my personality.
Right.
So that's what's gonna get the tips coming in. So I said all that to say I was tired of turning down money, like telling people that I couldn't come. So I'm like, well, let me start hand picking some people that I'm observing.
How did you do that?
One is one of my bar sisters. We kind of started officially bartending at the same time. Like we would do like the Funk Fest, the Jaguar games. That gives you more, more weight under your belt.
Right.
Put on your resume.
Exposure.
Yeah, definitely. One is one of my friends and homegirls. She was like, well, I just got my, I went to bartending school. She actually went to school, and she was like, I want to know more. And I'm like, come on. That was the first person I hired. Another person is my brother. One, because we don't come from anything. I'm still trying to teach him about priorities, responsibility.
The brother that from your 2 brothers that you have?
Yes.
Okay.
My baby brother.
Okay.
Trying to teach him about creating generational wealth and trying to start a business. So he's one of my bartenders. One of my cousin, I actually have concierge and waitress staff. So I chose my cousin because she's done been in the service industry, customer service for a while, so she knows how to handle it.
Yeah.
And then another one, someone else referred to me, my boy Shay. He was like, hey, I know somebody, she's a fresh face that everyone is not familiar with. She wants to learn. She just graduated from school. Let me know what you think. And the last person is someone who I always see when I'm out in the nightlife. I see they hustle, I see they grind, I admire them, and they make good drinks. So I'm like, well, if people are saying that I'm the best, and I can build a team that's the best, and I can give them some of my strategies and techniques, and really I'm learning as I go, because I know how to hustle and get stuff from the mud. I never knew how to structure the business, run it properly. To be honest, I'm still learning some things as I go, and I had to stop being prideful. And I was like, hey, if my friends know about business credit and how to establish, and these are the
Talk
things.
to these people. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I tell people all the time, man, you gotta put that pride to the side and
Yeah, I want to do
read
better.
and learn and get with the right people and network with those individuals. That's gonna help you go to the next plateau that you're trying to get to, especially in business. There's so much to learn in business, and different little modules that come out that change certain things that you can do in business, and I still apply those things too.
Absolutely.
You know, it's been 16 years, but I still revamp. I still have to uh,
Knock out the
knowledge myself.
kinks of things. And then, like you said, you surrounding yourself with more people who want to pour into you. People reach out to me all the time to say, hey, my services cost this much, but because you are you and this is what you're doing to help other people, and you are not just sitting back waiting, you are adamant about the direction that you're going in, let me help you for free. And before, I didn't know how to accept that, because I was not used to getting it. Just like you were saying, like, everybody come to me, but who can I go to?
Right.
And I realized if I change my mindset and let go of the people that I can't go to and get surrounded by the people that I can, or coming to me not to ask for something but to give me something. It really took the pandemic last year, when I had my surgery and my grandmother passed. I actually lost 3 grandparents last year. I had 2 surgeries. I went into a deep depression, realizing everything that was on my hands with my mom and determining her mental illness and her state. I was just like, again, the person before that, shut down, shut out. I'm strong. I got this. And people was like, what you gonna do? Who gonna take care of you when you have this surgery and do these things? And I'm like, man, I got me. I been had me. Yeah, I'm so glad they ain't listen to me. I'm so glad they showed up. It really showed me that tribes come near and far. All you have to do is be transparent. All you have to do is talk about what you're going through, because I can have a conversation with you and you can be the gold mine. You can help me. And sometimes helping me may take a breathing method.
Right.
Sometimes maybe holding my hand and praying. Sometimes it'd be like, hey, Char, I seen this grant that came out for bartenders. Apply. Something that I might just didn't cross, or I'm not familiar with.
Do it your way.
Right.
Yeah.
So because I'm more vocal and transparent about everything that I go through and who I am, because I'm just confident now. I'm so happy to have reached this moment to be able to live in my truth and talk about these things. For one, the more help that I get, the more I can help other people. And that's what my life is really all about. I now understand the assignment. Before, I was running away from it because people were taking advantage of me. I was hurt. I was in pain. Now I'm like, I need to find a way to be the superhero,
Right.
if that's what my assignment is. And also realizing in that everybody is not for me.
Those are facts there, man. What information? Because just hearing your story, and I didn't know all this, and that's why I like this platform, because I get a chance to talk to entrepreneurs. Like, we wouldn't have these conversations is at the bar.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
not at all.
Out at the club, or if I see you out and about, it may be like, hey, what's up, girl? How you doing? Oh, what's up, boss? There we say what's
Show
up
love
and keep it moving, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But I get a chance to sit with entrepreneurs and get like a full background story to figure out how you got to where you at now. And for the listeners and the viewers, they get a chance to see somebody who went through a lot of stuff, still going through your healing now and just educating yourself and even stepping out to get the counseling and all this other stuff. It's things that could have made you fold,
Mhm.
right? Especially dealing with loss in the family with deaths, then your own surgery, then you got the pandemic, then you got your mom you got going on. So it's a whole bunch, and you still came out on top. What do you tell that entrepreneur that is trying to step into this world and own their own business and start this legacy and build this wealth, but they're experiencing stuff too, and they're letting it hinder them and hold them back, and they never get going?
Right.
What do you tell them?
That's good. Like we all have magic. I'm no different from anybody else. And it's like, what good is your magic if you're not utilizing it? You have to find something that you are good at or learn to be good at, and become passionate about it. Cause passion turn into profit. Like when you have goals, like I'm gonna just be real. I'm running for my life right now. I just quit my job on my birthday, which was August 2nd, and how I got led to that point of quitting my job is because me having to take care of my mom. So it was traumatic. I was comfortable. I did not I didn't necessarily want to do it. The benefits was good, but I'm like, I have other responsibility, and sometimes it takes trauma or things to force you out of places that you have outgrown. So I no longer fit there. It just took a traumatic experience for me to really step out on faith. And I really didn't have a choice, but I'm like, I've had the hustle mindset. It's just now putting it into more of a perspective. So I'm just gonna say, be yourself, believe in yourself. Don't wait for family and friends to support you. Support comes from complete strangers, strangers who didn't even know, who you don't know, or who you don't know that knows of you.
Right.
Like, my name is in rooms in places that I've never even been in. So I'm just gonna say, keep going. Love on yourself. I'll say this, like, once you get your mind and your mental clarity right and get grounded, everything else really falls in place. All you have to do is plan and walk in it. I never had a business plan. I didn't have all this money saved up. I was just like, the time is now. Like, I'm watching my friends who we definitely got it from the mud. They millionaires, six figures, successful business. I'm like, man, if they can do it, I can do it too. And the thing that's so significant about them is they like, okay, if you want to learn, I'll
Come
teach
on,
you.
yeah. That's good. Hey, look, I don't have. She just wrapped it up with all that, man. I don't have nothing else to say after that. Um, because you just gave a lot just then, especially just pushing forward and finding those people. If you got some people that's willing to help you, step out of your comfort zone and get out here and get that help.
I
How?
did want to say one other thing.
Go ahead.
Like,
Go
it's
ahead.
a lot of people in the industry that I respect. I'm in groups like Bar Sisters. I got a Bar Bro. We bounce ideas. We give work off each other. So I want to say, don't get discouraged if it's somebody else in your field. Like, I love my sisters. I love my bar bro, but we all do stuff differently. It's not going to be the cocktails of sweetness way. So don't get discouraged. Collab with these people. Bounce ideas. Like, I know we all want to be the original of one thing, but it came from somewhere. So regardless if we got the idea from somebody else and added our twist, who cares?
Right.
We are breaking these curses. We are doing something with ourselves. We are trying to establish more than what we came from. So just believe in you and help others along the way. You can't do it by yourself. I don't care what you've been told. You
Definitely. How
cannot.
how can the people find you? How do we book you if we trying to get you to come out to the event?
Yes, most definitely. Y'all can follow me on Cocktails of Sweetness on Facebook and Instagram. Again, we specialize in ladies' nights, divorce parties, bar mitzvahs, wherever the alcohol is needed.
Mm. Listen, man, Charmaine Allen came in here. She did her thing. She gave y'all a full background story on just all the things that she surpassed in life and is still overcoming
Today years old.
today years old, still and still pushing forward. And like she said, if she seen somebody else do it, she knows she can do it. If y'all see her do it, then you know you can do it. So take the information that you got from this, apply it. And if you don't have the information and you know somebody who does, get out of that comfort zone, get out of that shell, step out here and talk to the individual so you can get the type of help that you need so you can get to the level you're trying to get to. On that note, we up out of here. This has been another episode from A to Z. Peace.